Hi there, folks, and welcome to the What Solutions for this week's The Daily Rigger issue number 156. So, we've got an environment story to start us off this week. So, Britain has not used coal to generate electricity for 2 weeks, the longest period since the 1880s. So, of course, coal being very bad for the environment. So, basically, we're asked how long is 2 weeks in seconds. So, what we've got to do, I suppose, is consider all the different relationships between the different time periods. So there's 60 seconds in a minute, there's 60 minutes in an hour. So if we multiply this 60 by another 60, that's going to give us the number of seconds in 1 hour. Now, there's 24 hours in a day, so we can multiply this by 24 to get the number of seconds in a day. And of course, there's 14 days in 2 weeks, so we can multiply by 14, and this big number here is the number of seconds in a fortnight. So, of course, the question does tell us to give it in words. So, the 1 stands for 1 million, the 209 stands for 209,000, and then we've got 600 at the end there. So on to our sports story now. So great idea from this guy. He wasn't prepared to spend £800 on return flights to attend the Champions League final, so he bought a £40 Skoda. So we're trying to work out how much money he could save using this innovative method of transport. So he's got to travel 1,299 miles, assuming he goes by the shortest distance. So in a car with an engine size like his, he can get 11 pence per mile. So for each mile, it's going to cost 11 pence. So we can multiply the number of miles by 11 pence written in pounds, which of course is 0.11. Now this figure here is how much it would cost him to get to Madrid, but of course it's return flights. He's got to go back to Liverpool as well, so he's got to do this journey twice. So we can multiply that by 2. But of course, we've also got to factor in the £40 that he paid for the car, so we're going to add 40 on at the end there. So this journey then would cost him £325.78, but the question does ask how much money could he save. So we're going to take that away from the 800 to get a potential saving of £474.22, and good luck to him. So on to our education story. So the young people in England were sitting their SATs test. So what we've done is we've got 3 questions for you to have a go at, including this one here, which apparently reduced many of the candidates into tears. So let's see how you got on with them. So the first one, we've got these two shapes of the same perimeter. So the length of each side of the hexagon is 8 centimetres. What's the area of the square? Well, obviously we can work out the perimeter first because we know the length of one of the sides of the hexagon is 8. So to get the perimeter, which is the total distance round the outside, it's just going to be 6 lots of 8. So the perimeter is 48 centimetres. Now that's for the hexagon, but it's also the perimeter of the square because they've got the same perimeter. So what we can do is we can divide the perimeter by 4 because the square's got 4 sides. So the length of the square is going to be 12 centimetres. So to get the area of the square, it's going to be length times breadth. So in this case, it's going to be 12 times 12, which gives us a final answer of 144 centimetres squared. So quite a lot of steps there, I think, yeah. So second question, so we've got Amina's got a cuboid. Stefan makes a cuboid as well, which is 5 centimeters longer, 5 centimeters taller, and 5 centimeters wider. So what's the difference between the number of cubes they would need to make these cuboids? So obviously we can count the number of cubes, but there's a quicker way to work it out. We can just work out the volume. It's length times breadth times height. So it's basically just the number of rows times the number of columns times how far back it goes. So 6 times 3 times 4. So that comes to 72 centimeters cubed. In other words, this shape has 72 cubes. Now Stefan's cuboid, again it's going to be length times breadth times height, but the new length is going to be 11 because it's 5 more than 6. The new breadth is 5 more than 3, which is 8, and the new height is 5 more than 4, which is 9. So all of that comes to 792 centimeters cubed. I mean, best way to do it without a calculator. 8 times 9 is 72, and to multiply a number by 11, we split it up, so it starts with a 7, ends with a 2, and 7 add 2, which is 9, goes in the middle. And of course we would have had that technique down to a T if we watched the Riggerman times by 11 trick that you can view on the website. So that means to make Stefan's cuboid, he needs a whopping 792 cubes. So the difference between the number of cubes would just be a subtraction. So we're looking for an answer there of 720 cubes. Okay, so on to this last story. So Adam is to make two straight cuts along the grid lines, and that means he's to turn this shape into two squares of different size and one rectangle. So, I mean, how I did it, I wonder how you did it actually. So there's a 5 by 5 square here. So if he makes a cut along here, that gives a square here and a rectangle. And obviously we can make another cut along here, and what that's going to do is it's going to give a square in the top right and a rectangle in the bottom right. So he's got three shapes there. He's got two squares of different size and a rectangle. Okay, so I mean, I don't know if you found another way to do it, or if that's the way you did it, or even if you made the cut, a wee bit further over to that side and did the 5 by 5 on the right hand side. But I thought that was okay. Thought that was quite fun. Okay, so on to our final story for literacy. It's a library book borrowed 52 years ago. So, what year was the book borrowed? Well, the simplest way I think to do it would just be to take 52 away from the current year. So, 2019 take away 52, which is 1967. So, in this library, in today's money, you're fined 15 pence per day for each day you don't return the book. Um, so, if you borrowed a book for 52 years, today, roughly how much would the fine be? So this isn't going to be exact. I mean, we're just going to do a kind of rough idea of what the fine would be like. So we get 15 pence written in pounds. So we're going to multiply that by 365 to work out the fine for 1 year, and then we can change that to 52 years by multiplying by 52. Now, of course, we've not taken into account leap years, and we've also not taken into account the week that he was allowed to borrow the book. But in terms of an estimate, a rough fine, I think this would be perfectly acceptable. Anyway, to get an idea of what the fine would be, it'd be £2,847. Although it should be noted that this particular library has a cap of £7.50 for the fine. So maybe you would get away with it, but really, if we're borrowing books out of the library, I think we should be returning them a wee bit quicker than that guy. Anyway, folks, there you have it, your word solutions for the Daily Rigger. Hope you enjoyed answering these questions as much as we did making them. Stay tuned for next week's edition when we're going to be looking at more stories from the news of the week and the numbers behind them. But in the meantime, thanks for watching and bye for now.